Well, hello there and welcome back to this F1 2020 My Team career mode as I try to revitalise the Minardi F1 team to the glories they never really got a hold of in their time in F1. We're at round 5 at the Circuit de Catalunya in Barcelona for the Spanish Grand Prix. We do have a couple of messages that we need to read. The weekend preview from Cole and the weather forecast from Jeff. You can see there towards the end of qualifying it's going to be rainy, so we need to get out there in qualifying early on to put in our solid laps. The race day nice, hot and sunny, which is what we want to see. So then, rivalry with George Russell. 4 races remaining. We're losing that 10-6. And there is our driver details. Total points, 2 points that we picked up in the last episode at Zandvoort. As for performance, no upgrades that we've ordered onto the car or being put onto the car. The R&D in progress, you can see we've got a powertrain upgrade, a minor upgrade for the ignition system due on the 11th of May, and a durability for the MGU-H. Due also on the 11th of May, which will be after this weekend. As for the progress history, let's have a look. Nothing from Mercedes, Ferrari or Red Bull. Looks like Racing Point have had a slight upgrade, and also well, us as well. We've had a couple of things bolted onto the car. Have we had a couple of things bolted onto the car? When have we managed to do that? So that would have been I think one of the chassis and aerodynamic upgrades that have automatically been put on the car after they failed for the first time, so that's okay. We've pulled a little bit away from Williams, still a long way behind the rest of the midfield, and us, other than us, Racing Point have had a minor upgrade as well. So a pretty even Stevens going into this weekend. As for the power units, I'll probably use power units number 1 for FP1 and maybe FP2. See how I get on there, and then obviously change back to power units number 2 for FP3 going forward, because units number 1 I should say, we've got 57% on the ICE. The MGU-H is quite bad at 61, but the turbocharger is really bad at 66. It does make an impact, as you would expect. As for the gearbox, practice gearbox, got a new practice gearbox, ordered one at the last weekend. The event gearbox up to 48%, so I thought it would be 50% after Zandvoort. It's only 48%. We've done 4 of the 6 weekends with the event gearbox, which of course is run in FP3 qualifying and the race. We might just be able to get to the end of its 6th weekend cycle before we change it out. Otherwise we do incur a grid penalty. And the weekend tyre allocation, as of course I've gone for the medium and the soft tyres for it. No hard tyres until we get to the race, which is what I prefer. And the drivers and constructor standings after Zandvoort, we are up into 15th place, level with a multitude of drivers, Perez, Ricciardo and Lance Stroll. The Minardi team is now sitting in 10th place, and the trophies you can see there, P9 at Zandvoort, very nice indeed. So I'm going to go away now and do a little bit of practice in FP1, and I'll be back with you guys to show you the classification from that session and let you know how things have gone. So FP1 has now ended. Bottas was fastest on the 118.173. A bit rain affected towards the end, the last 20 minutes. The rain slowly came in, so I did a lot of my running in the early part of the session to try and get some sort of a balance on the car and an understanding as well. So an 18.173 from Bottas on the medium tyres. We've got all the way down to the bottom because that's where we're going to find us anyway. We're 20th in the end. Quite a few people here at the back did run on the medium tyres. I've still got to do a few tweaks on the setup, but 20th at the moment. We're just a tenth and a half ahead of Latifi, and it looks like about 6.5 tenths ahead of Giotto. We're a few tenths off of Giovinazzi. I mean, obviously Kvyat and Russell up ahead as well. I'm not really too worried about Russell, to be honest with you. We know that Codemasters are going to give him a bit of an OP boost anyway, which is disappointing, but he's my rival. But the session felt okay. Spain is a track I'm really familiar with, and I've always not particularly, I wouldn't say gone well here in the past, but I've certainly felt very comfortable around this circuit, and that's immediately what I'm feeling after FP1. So we'll advance now and we'll crack on with FP2. So we're back at the workstation between FP1 and FP2. One little thing I forgot to mention was in FP1 we managed to do both of the track acclimatisation programs and the fuel management program, and we scored purple in both of those as well. So that frees us up really for FP2 and FP3. We can have a little play around with the setup. Now we'll be running soft tyres exclusively. I did 2 stints on both the medium tyres that were available to me. So we've got 4 sets of soft tyres now to burn through in FP2 and FP3. You've got to remember as well, lap times might be down a little bit because we are using some very old units at the moment. 60% now on the ICE, 53, 64 on the MGU-H, energy still at 60, 70% for the turbocharger, and 50 for the electronics, and the gearbox as well also running at 10%, which is fine to be honest. 10% really doesn't show too much to be honest, but obviously we're obviously using old power units that we've been running pretty much since Australia, and we still set a fairly decent lap time and got 2 practice programs done. So in FP2 I will continue to run these programs, and we'll get the I'll attempt the tyre management program at least. And then in FP3 we'll bolt on the fresher sets of the units that we've got, and we might have a little go at doing, well, the other 3 we got is the ERS management one, where we use all our ERS or save it all to try and achieve a purple score. The qualifying one, which I'm probably going to miss to be honest, I think we'll miss that, and the race strategy one, which is basically banging out multiple laps and trying to beat an average delta score. So resource points looking good. I'm sure it'll be a lot more than 728 by the time we're done with this weekend, and pace feels okay to be honest with you. I'm not too disheartened so far, but we're down in P20 and about 6/10 off of Russell. I'm pretty sure we can claw that back as the weekend goes on. So FP2 again will be off camera, and I'll try and do a practice program or 2. Hopefully it says it's sunny, hopefully it remains sunny as well, and we can fettle about a little bit of a setup, try to get more of a balance on the tyre wear rates. It's still a bit too high on the left side, certainly the left front is about 2 or 3% per lap higher than the right front, so I might have to mess about with the PSIs over there a little bit, but other than that it's going okay, as it would expect to be at this stage of the season. So we'll focus now for the second practice session. So at the end of FP2 we managed to complete the tyre wear program and the ERS program both in purple, so we're 4 for 4 right now, and this is definitely the most resource points we've acclaimed in the practice sessions so far this season. We've still got FP3 left to go. We've got the qualifying program and the race strategy one as well, which I will I'll attempt both in both of them to try and see if we can get an absolute perfect score, which will just generate a lot of resource points for us this weekend. But Leclerc ends FP2 as the fastest driver in a 17.845, nearly 4 tenths quicker than Bottas, and Vettel 7 tenths behind his teammates. Some drivers are using a hard and medium compound tyres, so it's difficult to really judge where we are in the pace, but if we scroll to the bottom you see we was in 21st. Latifi will always be quicker than I think Latifi anyway, but we were about 4 tenths off of Giotto and Grosjean and Russell as well, but I'm not too worried by that, because we was obviously using some very used engine components in FP2. Now we go into FP3 where sort of the quali sims start to take place, so I'll probably do the race strategy one first and then the qualifying one to really see where we stand. I think pretty much everyone will be on the soft tyres, and we'll be using some very new units as well, so that will give us a real true reflection of where we are in the standing here at Spain. But so far, yeah, I mean, to be 4 tenths off using battered units, I'm fine with. We're not obviously going to be, you know, like around the likes of where Perez and Stroll, Magnussen 11th, 12th and 13th just yet, but as long as we're competitive with the guys at the back of the field, then we're doing everything that we need to be doing. So now we will advance back to the workstation to change everything over, and then into the 30-minute FP3 session. So then in the garage, we'll have a look at the session info. I've allowed the time to go on for a handful of minutes, 24 of the 30 minutes left. You can see the resource points, 455 out of 575. Might as well show you the setup very quickly as well. We've got 2 sets of soft tyres that we can use in this session. So the setup that I'm running then, fuel doesn't really matter too much. We're doing practice programs. Aerodynamics 5.8. Transmission 60/60, suspension geometry 3 clicks to the right for the camber, 3 to the left for the toe. Suspension 446655, brakes 154, and the tyre pressures are all messed about a little bit as you can see here, but we've dropped it down quite a bit on the front and rear lefts. left it pretty much almost in the middle for the right hand tyres. So it's a clockwise circuit, so more load goes onto the left hand tyres. Certainly through that very fast turn 9 in sector 2, it does put quite a load on the tyres. We're getting an even spread, a nearly even spread, I would say, across all 4 tyres, which is good. So track acclimatisation done in purple, tyre management done in purple, fuel management done in purple, ERS management done in purple. We'll give the race strategy one a go then. So the race strategy program is designed to benchmark your car's tyre wear and fuel usage in order to help the team build a personalised race strategy for you. We have 5 laps to complete this. The objective score is 30, I think it is. And basically, the better we do at this, then the more information we get going into the race. So this is not a quality setup, this is for the race, basically telling us about our overall tyre wear. So we have a delta time to beat every lap, and that will increase with every lap that goes past to take into account for the tyre wear. So the first lap could be, I don't know, 1 minute 21 dead, for example, and then the second lap would be 21.6, and then a 22.1, something like that, as Williams comes down the main straight. So we'll just ease off and allow Latifi through to carry on his merry way. So the lap times are taken into account. Well, I hope they are anyway. They have been on previous games. They should be on this one as well. And it's a case of basically just get out there, do some laps, 5 at most. And as long as you beat the delta time every lap, then we will claim purple. If we fail to beat the delta time on, let's say, a first lap, but we do it in second, third and fourth, we might still sneak a purple, but it'll probably be green. So it's all about really just keeping it smooth, consistent, like we would in a race, you know. Just push as hard as you can and see how these soft tyres work. Just coming into and out of the final chicane. Second lap we were 8 tenths up. This one here is going to be about 9 and a bit. And I'm pretty sure that when we cross the line, it's going to give us enough points to secure purple in the first 3 laps. But we'll keep going to try and get some more data. And we'll scan that as well, just to see if we can mess around with our setup a little bit and what our strategy is going to be. But yeah, that's another purple practice program completed. So just a few seconds over 7 minutes remaining in FP3. We got purple. We finished around about 8 tenths to a second up on our delta with each passing lap, all 5 laps. You can see there at the end. We lost a little bit of time actually. 22.4 was expected. We did a 21.7, so about 7 tenths down. But anyway, on the right hand side there, average lap time 21.264, tyre wear factor 0.95. So what it means is that for them 5 laps I did, we saved a tiny little bit, probably not enough to really affect what's going on. 8 laps is expected on the soft tyres. I reckon it will still be 8 laps going into the race. Soft tyres aren't really a viable option for us in the race. It's going to be a stint on the mediums and the hards unless somehow we qualify inside the top 10. So that leaves then just a qualifying pace program to do. We complete that, we get 50 resource points, and an additional 20 takes up to the max of 575 if we're in the delta, in the green, in both sector 1 and sector 3. As for our timings, we are currently in 19th place, nearly half a second ahead of Giotto and nearly 7 tenths ahead of Latifi. So that's good to see. As for Grosjean, a couple of attempts down in sector 3. If we find that time, we'll be within a couple of attempts of him. Russell is running the hard tyres, so his lap time is a little bit unrepresentable, if that's the word I'm looking for. So the qualifying pace program, we'll start that on our final set of soft tyres, and this is pretty much all out balls out. This is turn everything up to the max, switch mix fuel, probably not overtake ERS, maybe just a hot lap one, and it's all about just trying to forget about the tyres, forget about the fuel, just try and set the fastest lap you possibly can. This is the one that, to be honest with you, I really don't think we will be able to do all the time. So straight away, ERS needs to be turned off. You can only turn up to hot lap mode, so that's fine. So it is a qualifying sim setup, which, to be honest, some drivers out there will be running. Obviously it's FP3. You sort of do your long running in FP1 and FP2 to get the data you can on the hard and medium tyres, and then in FP3 it's all about setting the car up for qualifying, which is why so many cars are out there on the soft tyres. And here we go, qualifying sim practice program. looking good. I think it'll be about a second up on our delta time. Should be purple. Could be a quite quick lap as well. It is purple. And we have maxed out completely. Look at that. We were a second and a half up on what we should have done. Up into P9 in the session as well. We were fast in Sector 1 and Sector 3. We have, for the first time this season, it took us until the 5th race, or the 5th weekend, to completely max out our practice program. So there's not long left of a session now. We'll have a slow tour back to the pits. And if we have time, just to scan through all of the programs. So indeed it is P9. Our lap time is completely pointless to compare to everyone else because obviously we was doing the qualifying sim. But certainly the highest we've finished in any session, any practice session so far. Giotto was 2 seconds slower than us. I'm confident going ahead of qualifying. I definitely think we can at least achieve P19 and we might trouble the Haas car as well. I don't pay attention to Perez and Norris down the bottom, or even Ocon, as obviously running, not running the soft tyres. So 19th is the target, but if we nail the perfect lap, we may be able to creep an extra position or two. But a very, very good FP3 and very healthy there for the resource points for the team. So the resource points, 150 from Giotto, 632 from myself. Shoots us all the way up to 1,510. As for the acclaim, 8% for me, 12% for Giotto, 20% combined for the team. But you can see there, it's now starting to slow down a little bit for everyone, really, as we start to slowly make our way through the various levels. But yeah, a very good 3 practice sessions that I've had. So a couple of minutes have passed in the qualifying session. Don't know if there's any lap times on the board just yet. There isn't, but quite a few people are already going through Sector 1, 2 and 3. So we'll drain the fuel out as best as we can. Plenty of tyres, as you can see. And about half the field out on circuit at the moment. 10 to 15 minutes from now we might see some rain. So I think it's a good opportunity to get out on circuit now. I think if the rain is going to arrive towards the end of the session, everyone would have set at least one hot lap on the dry tyres. Ideally, I'd like the rain to have arrived within about 2 minutes of the session starting. Very overcast, as you can expect, with the rain on the horizon as we allow Ricciardo through. And with these soft tyres being pretty wear heavy, not durable at all, we have to take it a little bit easy on our outlap. Right, let's turn everything up. Let's have at it. It wasn't the best lap I've done around this circuit by any means. Just hope it's competitive enough. Well, it does put us ahead of both Russell and Latifi behind Grosjean. I can assume that Giotto will filter in somewhere just behind us as well. So we'll have a slow tour back to the pits, see where we stand, and see if we've got enough time to get out again for another dry run before the rain arrives. So we do have genuine pace here. You can see just over 9 minutes left of the session. We are about to go out again just, I think, before the rain arrives. We've out-qualified Raikkonen at the moment by just over half a tenth of a second. Russell is in there as well. Giotto has managed to get ahead of Latifi. So we're currently looking at P18. I'm going to go out now. If we find another 2 tenths, that'll put us up into P16. So I've made the change onto a new set of soft tyres. And the rain, I think, is due to arrive soon. So we'll go out on track now. Track is very quiet. So you can see straight away after that, I am back in the garage. We made a couple of mistakes on that lap. I came into the final chicane 5 tenths down. So I immediately ducked back into the pit lane. 2.5 minutes exactly remaining of the session. The rain has just about held off. I don't believe it is already starting to fall. As you can see now, the track is starting to fill up with more and more people going out onto circuit. I am going to leave now. Screw it, we'll go out a little earlier than we normally do. and we will now have just our final run to try and improve our position if we can, or at least our lap time. I've blown it. I've blown it. We're down to P19 as well. Ah, damn it. So Leclerc takes pole position by 4 thousandths of a second ahead of Verstappen, with Hamilton, Vettel, Bottas and Sainz inside the top 6. Albon down to 7th. Norris, Stroll and Ricciardo complete the top 10. The rest of the field, you can see they're filtering through, and we end up in P19. We were half a tenth away from beating Giovinazzi. I don't think we would have got close to Grosjean. That would have been a 4/10 improvement, but definitely. I mean, at one point I think it was 2.5 tenths up, but we was around about the tenth and a half section, and then I unfortunately ballsed up sector 3, lost all that time. But pace is promising. 2 and a bit tenths ahead of Russell, 6 tenths ahead of Giotto, and 9 tenths ahead of Latifi. So we should be able to beat these 3, I think, not fairly comfortably, but hopefully we should be able to, and maybe tag on to the back of the Haas and Alfa Romeo cars during the race. So rather we break down, completed qualifying, and I out-qualified George Russell. So we do close up a little bit. 11 to 8, we're still losing. 4 races remaining, including this one as well, I think, anyway. Team acclaim, 8% for me, up to level 5, 12% for Giotto, 20%, or 22, I should say, combined bonus. So we could be level 8 for the team after this, and Giotto will be very close to level 7. So that is it then. Qualifying is all done. We now have a 33 lap race to contend with, in nice sunny conditions, which is what I like. Pre-race notes from Jeff, we don't need to pay attention to that. There's nothing else here that we need to change either. How is the gearbox looking? 51%, so only added 1% over qualifying, so that's fine. So we'll go to the race. We'll have a look at the introduction, the grid formation as well, to see if there's any penalties, and then we'll sort out our race strategy.
The Spanish Grand Prix has been a permanent fixture on the Formula One calendar for over 30 years now, and for good reason. Do you remember Michael Schumacher's absolute dominance here in that rain-soaked Grand Prix in 1996? That day he took his first ever victory for Ferrari, and we've had many more iconic moments since. The Circuit de Barcelona-Catalunya then, a high-speed 2.89-mile circuit which demands an efficient downforce package and bravery on the part of the driver, especially through the blind right of turn 9, which we might just see taken flat this weekend. And as always, a man with plenty of racing experience joins me in the commentary box. Today it's Anthony Davidson. Tell me, Ant, you're no stranger to surviving the melee of turn 1. So how do you keep out of trouble when there's so much going on around you?
There are 3 main things to worry about there, Crofty. Positioning, awareness and discipline. First, you have to put your car in a bit of space and make sure you have room to react to what the others are doing. Then you have to watch your mirrors and listen to the sounds around you to get a sense of where everyone is. And finally, just don't get too greedy. Just because a gap exists doesn't always mean you should go for it.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Charles Leclerc lines up on pole position and Max Verstappen lines up alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Hamilton, Vettel, Valtteri Bottas and Sainz, Albon, Norris, Stroll and Daniel Ricciardo, Perez, Gasly, Daniel Kvyat and Ocon, Raikkonen, Grosjean, Antonio Giovinazzi and Lee, Russell, Giotto, Latifi and Kevin Magnussen fills the last spot on the grid. Now, it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track.
So one of the Haas cars has a 10-place grid penalty. I assume they probably changed out their gearbox, so we are promoted to P18. So that is nice. So have a look at the strategy. Mediums onto hards. We can do soft, mediums, hards. It's 15 seconds. So that quicker. Oh my god, that's not very good. So we'll edit this strategy. I'm feeling brave, and I think that we could possibly. It's not going to let me. Oh, okay, we've got to add a stint. God Almighty. So let me. Can I? It won't let me change tyres. That's weird. Okay, we'll let a 4th stint in. Jesus. Oh, it won't let me change the tyres at all. What's going on? Okay, maybe. There we go. No. Okay, I don't want to. Softs. Hards. There we go. Mediums. Right. Remove that stint. Remove that stint. Hards onto mediums. That's the strategy I want to do. So as for starting in the field, we did the race strategy program, and it's basically said to start with half a lap's worth of extra fuel. I don't think we will. I think we'll start with 2 laps worth of extra fuel. So 2 laps worth of extra fuel, which we can burn through when we're trying to save a bit of ERS as well. Of course, I've got it set up to medium and the overtake as well. Hard tyres. We're going to start on the hard tyres and go on to the mediums. I think that's a good strategy to do. I think most people, well, it'll be interesting to see on the formation lap, the people around us. If they're starting on the softs, they're definitely going to have to 2-stop. I don't think they can do softs onto hards. So we'll start the formation lap. And it looks like most people around us are starting on the mediums. So we're going to be doing the opposite thing to them. We're going to be starting on the hards, going onto the mediums. We're doing mediums onto hards. It'll be interesting though with the guys in the top 10. Light up the tyres away from the grid.
System checks are good. We need to stay in formation and start bringing the car up to temperature, please. Get some load into the tyres and work the brakes. We want them nice and warm by the end of the lap.
Yep, no worries, Jeff. I know what I am doing. I have done a formation lap once or twice before. The nice sunny conditions here at the Catalunya circuit on the outskirts of Barcelona. Not too sure what to expect from the race. We won't be racing up the field, that's definitely for sure, but I think we can aim for a P18 finish. I think we'll be doing okay. Last time out of Zandvoort, it was a bit lucky for us. We got caught out by the safety car at Australia, but it sort of worked in our favour with a second one, and we got very lucky with the safety car obviously at Zandvoort as well, pitting when we did. I'd like a nice clean run, if that's at all possible. Long run down into turn 1. Be smart with our ERS as well in the race, but main straight and on the run between turn 9 and turn 10 is probably the places we're going to be using it. Everywhere else it's a little bit pointless. AI takes control of our car. We now make our way to the grid, starting in P18. We've got Russell, Giotto, Latifi and Magnussen behind us. I assume we'll be starting on the medium tyres. Make our way into our grid spot, and now we get ready for round 5 of 16 in season 1 with the Minardi team here at Spain. Lights come on now. Hold the clutch in, build the revs. Wasn't a great start. Oh, that's a dive bomb and a half. Oh, I didn't mean to do that.
Alright, we're looking good so far.
Very deep into 7 and through 8. Into P15 now. Giving a couple of taps to Ocon there on the first lap, so we check the damage, everything seems okay. Come out the final chicane, through the final corner, which is easy flat. We complete lap 1, now into lap 2, up into P15.
DRS is being enabled this this lap, we can use DRS when you are within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
So 2 DRS zones here, main straight and between turns 9 and turns 10. Both good overtaking opportunities, so we'll have to be wary about Grosjean behind. Remember, on the hard tyres here, we're at a disadvantage early on compared to pretty much everyone on the field. So if we can hold on to this position, we're doing alright.
Some information on Leclerc, they're retiring from the race. Safety car, safety car.
Ooh.
Keep your delta number
Interesting.
positive as we form
Oh,
up.
there's Leclerc.
Speed, our delta is too low and we risk a penalty. Slow your pace immediately.
So the safety car has come out for it. We're not going to pit. I don't know if the guys on the soft tyres will pit. It's possibly a bit too early for them to pit, I think, to make the strategy work. This works well for the guys starting on the medium tyres, don't get me wrong. Works well for us as well. It means that we can push the hard tyres a couple of extra laps and therefore get a bit more life out of the mediums towards the end. So fuel mix is now down to lean. We can save ERS as well. Whoa. There's a lot of cars coming into the pits actually. So you've got to be wary of our delta. So pretty much the entire top 10 that started on the soft tyres are now in. It'll be very interesting to see what tyres they got to go on. I still think they have to pit again. So the advantage is now of us and everyone else that started on the mediums and the hard tyres. Because they definitely won't be able to do, you know, what will be 28 racing laps instead of hard tyres. And we're up into the dizzying heights of P4. The order has definitely been changed here. We've got a Racing Point, an AlphaTauri, a Renault, a Minardi, a Haas, and an Alfa Romeo occupying the top 6 positions. Okay then, so Perez leads, Gasly second, Ocon is third. We're in P4 at the moment. Bump everything up to the max. I think the target now is really to try and get to lap 20 if we can in these hard tyres and then move on to the mediums. Hard tyres are going to be super cold. We're giving it everything down the main straight though. I think we'll be okay. So into lap 8 now. As you can hear from Jeff, DRS is now back online after the safety car. We're doing okay in P4. We're losing touch with the top 4 ahead, but we're not exactly being hounded by everyone behind. Of course, you've got to remember that pretty much the top 10 stopped under the safety car. So they'll be slowly making their way back through at some point. At the moment, all we can do is just keep pushing on. Okay, fastest lap we've done so far, 121.931. Eked out enough an advantage over Grosjean. We didn't have to use the overtake button down the main straight. Giovinazzi is falling behind a little bit. And also Perez out front has an issue, so that's going to be interesting. I don't know how bad that issue is. I don't know how much it's going to affect his race. But we're holding our own here in P4. Using quite a lot of fuel. And trying to save ERS as well at the same time. We are pushing very hard, to be honest, because at this stage we can easily do hards and mediums with no real significant worry about the tyre wear after that safety car period. And the longer we can stay in a high position like this, then the better chance we've got, because at this stage everyone needs to stop one more time.
Fuel is looking really good.
Everyone on the medium tyres now diving into the pits, and for the first time this season and the first time in our career mode, we lead a Grand Prix. P1 for now.
Okay, the safety car is out. The safety car is out. We need to form up at a reduced
Wow,
pace.
okay.
Keep a close eye on that delta time. Make sure to keep it positive. Check your MFD for a new strategy option.
MFD, pit now for medium tyres, in we come. Wow, that came out at the possibly the best time. So we're now making the change, pretty much bang on half race distance, coming in for the medium tyres. Pit lane is busy, the mechanics are out. We may very well rejoin in P1 here, which is going to be absolutely terrifying.
Go, go, go. You'll be racing on the exit. Go, go, go.
Get the pit lane we can. We've got to race Perez down to turn 1 if we can. And we do so. So we rejoin in P3 behind Gasly and Ocon, who are on the hard tyres. Perez and Hamilton also on the hard tyres. This will give us an opportunity to save our ERS and our fuel. Once I get out of this corner here, I will bump it down. Right, so we're halfway distance. We're now on the medium tyres, which is probably a bit earlier than I wanted to, really. But we'll have to absolutely stay on these tyres now. No one else has to pit, so we are legit P3. Holding on to this position is going to be incredibly difficult. Get everything turned up. Rich and ERS into 3. 15 laps to go on a set of medium tyres. We're now on the best tyres. Everyone else out there, by the way, is on the hard tyres. So here we go. The next part of this race begins now.
Green flag.
Hamilton's attacking down the inside. We're going to try and hang it round if we can. Inside the 2, but now he's got 3. We're going to have to let him go here. Or Verstappen's there as well. This is only a matter of time, really. We was never going to hold these guys off forever. We were lucky to be in this position. There's another 4 or 5 cars behind us. We've still got a chance of points here. The podium's gone now. Trying to be as smooth as I possibly can. And then hammer the ERS. Coming into the final corner. A bit up to Rich Mix.
This pace is strong, but be aware your tyres need to go the distance.
There's 4 cars behind me. 6th, 7th, 8th and 9th. And then there's a gap back to 10th, 11th and 12th. Well, I say a gap, there's only about 2 seconds. Now Hamilton and Verstappen are being released. They're going to close on Ocon and Gasly, who are currently holding P1 and P2. Just a handful of laps to go here, but we're a bit more comfortable now with a McLaren behind us than we were with a Red Bull and a Mercedes.
5.0 seconds.
Pretty much the only place they can really challenge us is down into turn 1, so I'm saving all my fuel in the ERS for the main straight. Tyres are okay at the moment. I'm expecting a bit of slip though in the next couple of laps, and that'll make things a bit more difficult. All I want to get out of this really is just a top 10 if I can. We're doing okay in P5 for now. Again, having that McLaren behind us, they're not as close coming out the final corner. So if we can just keep it smooth and use everything we've got down that main straight, we should be okay here. But the tyres are now starting to cause a little bit of an issue. We still have 5 laps to go. So it's all about just smoothness. If we have to go a little slower in certain corners, then so be it, just to keep the tyre life there. This is looking good. With each passing sector, this is looking better and better. What a result this will be to pull it off. Lucky, of course, with the safety car, but we'll take it. You need luck sometimes. I'm not complaining. So lap 30, Hamilton's just got past the AlphaTauri of Gasly into P1. Verstappen is up behind them as well. So I reckon it'll be Hamilton, Verstappen, P1, P2. Gasly will be on the podium. Ocon will be 4th. So good results for both of them, all things considered. And we're doing everything we can here in P5. We've got a whole host of cars behind us now. One mistake will probably see us drop down to something like P14. So just keep going. Three laps to go.
There's 3 laps of fuel remaining.
Two laps to go. 2 laps to go. Come on, we can do this. Here we go then, coming into the final lap now.
This is your final lap of the race.
Come on, come on, come on, come on. Don't attack, don't attack. Oh, it's nervous. Tyres are really struggling now. There's a whole queue behind me.
Fuel now. The tank is empty.
Running low on fuel, running low on ERS. Don't really care. Tyre graph has popped up as well. Do I dare look at my tyres? Oh God. They are bad. We should be okay now. Well, Hamilton's going to win. Verstappen's going to be second. It's going to be a podium for Gasly. Ocon with a P4 as well. I think the big surprise is going to be us, the little Minardi team, new to Formula 1, into and out of the final chicane. We'll give it the bees anyway at the final corner. It's going to be P5. It's going to be our best result of the season. Lucky, but we'll take it. A bit sweaty after them last dozen or so laps, I should say. We did quite a lot of laps here on the medium tyres, but to be honest, the balance felt quite good. They started going off with a couple of laps to go, but I was able to control it. And it's P5 and driver of the day as well, which is always nice. From 18th on the grid. Hamilton then charges back to the front, as does Verstappen with P1, P2. Well done to Gasly for claiming his first podium of the season. Not his first podium, of course. Ocon in 4th, us in 5th. And it's Sainz, Perez, Vettel, Stroll and Grosjean completing the points. I think Racing Point were the only team to get both cars in the points. Just shows you how randomised this race was with that safety car. Obviously, a lot of people further down, including ourselves, benefited from pitting under the safety car and going on to a different set of tyres. That really did help us out. Oh no, in fact, actually it was later on, wasn't it? So much happened in that race. I honestly can't remember. It was so crazy. But yeah, a lot of us benefited obviously because of the safety car. And yeah, so Kvyat outside the points in 11th, Ricciardo, Bottas down in 13th, Raikkonen, Albon 7th down to 15th, Giovinazzi, Norris, Russell, Giotto was 19th, Latifi 20th and last we lost Magnussen and Charles Leclerc. So we'll have a look at the standings because that had all been shook up a little bit. Hamilton now takes the lead of the championship. Verstappen up into 2nd place, pushing Vettel, Leclerc down to 3rd and 4th. Albon still in a decent 5th place. Everyone else you can see there are 10 points, shoots us right up to 13th behind Kvyat and Giovinazzi. Other gainers, Gasly obviously with his first points of the season, Ocon getting a load more points as well. Just leaves just a few drivers yet to score points. Raikkonen in the Alfa Romeo, both for Williams, and Giotto in the Minardi. In the Constructors, and Ferrari hold a 7-point lead over Red Bull. Mercedes very close behind as well. So a nice 3-horse race there. McLaren a long way back, but still hold on to P4. Renault and AlphaTauri score some good points in the race, and we shoot up into 8th place, level with Alfa Romeo and Racing Point, who are not having the season they would have expected. Haas in 10th on 5 points, Williams on 0. So I'm pretty sure at this stage we'll be able to beat Williams unless we get another mad race like that where the back of the field ends up going to the front. But yeah, to be P8 in the Constructors and P13 in the Drivers' Championship after just 5 races is very, very nice. So the rivalry breakdown, 4-2 against George Russell. So we're slowly closing that gap back up. We're just 1 behind now, with 4 race weekends remaining. Or is it 3? I don't know, maybe that'll change. Team acclaim, 10% for me. Shoots me up nearly into level 6. 12%, 14% for Giotto. He's now level 7. 24 combined for the team after that race. Halfway up level 8, which is all very promising, of course. And then finally the cash sponsors. That's all good. That's come in another $290,000. The base payout, a bit of damage deductions there for practice sessions and all that sort of thing, and also a little bit of money from Giotto as well. So $5.71 million is what we're up to now. So yeah, very healthy amount. So then our team and claim level is now level 8, 1,630 resource points, $5.7 million in the bank. So I think it's probably time now. We can advance the time, obviously. We've also got some activities that we can probably do. So we'll have a look at some of these. Durability, department focus, G-force training, improves the racecraft by 1 for Giotto. Job promotion filming, Your claim goes up by 100. Sponsor advertisement, team acclaim, but and we get some money as well. Sponsor event promotion, durability, team building. We'll do GeForce training. We'll get Giotto in. Durability department, resource points 30. Morale goes up by 5. Durability, team building. Sponsor event, sponsor advertisement. Team acclaim goes up a little bit. Driver promotion filming, sponsor advertisement, and we might as well do bloody everything here really. No, we won't now do. That's fine, we'll leave it as it is. So we've got those 3 things in anyway. That will generate a little bit more for the team. So the facilities, then you can see here, it's probably about time we really think about spending some money over here. The durability department, for sure, we need to get things reliable, so increase fabrication capacity to a maximum of 2 simultaneous developments. We can do 2 developments at the same time. Build time, improve build time with all upgrades by 20%. Improve failure chance reduction by 10%. And resource point generation, improve resource point generation to 60. What other departments we've got? We've got marketing. Probably the last thing we'll do really. Where is the personnel one? To try and get Giotto a little bit better if we can. Chassis, aerodynamic department probably does need a bit of work. Chassis is going to be very expensive, very expensive. Right, we really need to start thinking about the durability, but to be honest, I'd rather just get it all done in one go. So $1.5 million, is 3 million. 4.5 million, 6.5 million. So I might leave this and get this all up to spec 1 after the next race, which is Monaco, which is going to be absolutely horrendous. So I think we'll leave the facilities department. R&D in progress, no data. You can see there we've got nothing ready to go onto the car. So we do have some resource points. We might as well focus a bit more on the durability side of things if we can. We've got anything here for the gearbox? We haven't really, have we? And we've got, if we do all 3 of these, then that's the durability department sort of done with really. So this is the energy, what's this one? This is the energy store, the electronics, and the MG UK. So we'll get the MG UK on the go. It'll be between Monaco and the Canadian Grand Prix. Failure chance 40%. That's fine, we can't do any more, can we? Oh, got the note, exactly, yep, so we can do 1 at a time. Powertrain department, we've got 40% failure chance over there, but the powertrain department seems okay at the moment. Chassis, we're the 3rd worst. Aerodynamic, we're the 2nd worst. We could probably do some work here on the aerodynamic department as well. That will arrive 31st of May. The rear wing main plane, so a redesign of the rear wing main plane results in better efficiency, meaning more downforce can be produced without additional drag. Yeah, so we'll get that in development. And hopefully they'll be here sometime between Monaco and Canada. As for the durability department, it is our worst. We certainly are the worst at the moment. Alfa Romeo is the best in that, I'm surprised, but never mind. Okay, well, yeah, that's all we can do for that. As for the vehicle, these are the units. I'll bump onto units number 1 as I'm practicing Monaco and trying my best to not eat it into the wall at every single opportunity. As for the gearbox, event gearbox is now 57%. We've just got 1 weekend left to go, so we comfortably can carry this gearbox through Monaco and then change it out before Canada without incurring a penalty. So that's pretty handy. As for our sponsors, as a team complete a total of 75 laps during the race weekend, weekly 165. The goal is 153, and as a team complete a total of 30 laps during a race weekend. These are both pretty easy to do and should be easy to do, easy to complete every time. And as for our main sponsor, as our team acclaim keeps going up, we get more and more money. So our goal bonus is now $4.84 million at the end of the season, and a weekly income of $462,000. So all that's really helpful, to be honest with you, because every time our team acclaim goes up, we get a little bit more money from the main sponsor. So we'll advance time now all the way to Monaco. So there's 1 point for racecraft for Giotto, driver promotion filming of 100, a sponsor advertisement, a little bit of cash and team acclaim. The weekly resources is costing quite a bit actually now. I think it's weekly resources is creeping up a little bit, but we're still getting a lot of money in. And now it's time for Monaco. So we've got the race weekend and the allocation to sort out, which I'll do in a minute. and I'll see you for the next episode. So to round up Spain, yeah, pretty good all round. We got a perfect practice programme score, 575 out of 575 I think it was, which really helped and has enabled us to get a couple of parts developed between Monaco and Canada. Qualifying was okay. I sort of ballsed up my final lap, maybe could have gained an extra position. Started from 18th, benefited with the safety car, as did most of the field towards the back. And then it was the front runners trying their best to carve their way through. We ran third for quite a while, slipped back to fifth once Hamilton and Verstappen got past, but we was able to keep the McLaren of Science and the Racing Points and everyone else behind fairly comfortably to secure our best result of the season with P5. Now we move on to Monaco, where I'm expected to crash down to earth. But thank you very much for watching this episode, and I'll see you all for the next one very soon.